say something. สวัสดีครับผมทุกคน สวัสดีไหมนะครับสบายดีไหมนะครับ which just means basically how you doing.
Okay.
So เพลงนี้เป็นแกงหรือเปล่านะครับโอ้โหเป็นดีใช่ไหม
That sounds great.
It just basically just means music here. It's okay, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty good.
So you're telling me off air that Thai is it a tonal language?
It's a tonal. There are 5 different tones.
Yeah.
And so basically you can have what we might think of as a word.
Yes.
And if you apply a different tone to it, it would mean something completely different. Right. So as over here in this country, we would have two and two, T-O-O, T-O, and T-W-O, 3 different meanings. And in which way it works the same way. So they're different words. We know them as being different words, but we pronounce them in the same way. In Thai, you pronounce the words differently. So people might think it's difficult, but actually if we think about a word mai or mai, might sound similar, but they're actually different. So mai is no, or a negative.
Okay.
Or mai might be something like silk, or mai might be wood. So you could say mai, say not wood. We say mai. Yeah. You say silk, not wood.
Yes.
Or burns is mai. Okay. So or old silk is mai, meaning it's not new. So mai is could be old wood burns new silk. Doesn't burn.
That's fantastic stuff. I think I would find that quite challenging. You think it would actually? It's not as challenging.
It's not. It is challenging if you go into it trying to get all the tones correct.
Yes.
If you go into it thinking that I need a 60-word vocabulary,
yes,
and that 60 words will allow me to do whatever I want, like go straight on, throng by, yes. Turn right, เลี้ยวขวานะครับ turn left, เลี้ยวซ้ายนะครับ
yes.
And of course that at the end of the sentence there, that nakab, it's just being polite. It's just a polite affirmation of what you're saying.
Okay.
And so a lot of the language is about being polite and knowing who you're talking to.
So it's reflecting the culture, basically, which is not surprising, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for that. I'm going to play another one of your songs, one of your chosen songs, which is "Between the Bars," and it's Elliott Smith.
Drink up, baby, stay up all night with the things you could do. You won't, but you might. The potential you'll be that you'll never see. The promises you'll only make. Drink up with me now and forget all about the pressure of days. Do what I say. I'll make you okay and drive them away. The images stuck in your head. People you've been before that you don't want around anymore. That push and shove and won't bend to your will. I'll keep them still. Drink up, baby. Look at the stars. I'll kiss you again. Between the bars where I'm seeing you there, with your hands in the air, waiting to finally be caught. Drink up one more time and I'll make you mine. Keep you apart, deep in my heart, separate from the rest. Where I like you the best, and keep the things you forgot. The people you've been before that you don't want around anymore. That push and shove and more.
I like that one now. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's every time I hear that, it's New York in the snow.
Yes. Why?
It's just
Is this what the imagery that you get?
Yeah, it's that East Coast winter and East Coast.
Okay.
Elliott Smith is very East Coast America,
Right.
Cape Cod, that sort of thing.
Good.
The Hamptons and all that sort of thing.
Brilliant. Okay, so you were telling me that you actually spent 10 years in Thailand and came back because of your dad's.
Yeah.
And so how does the story continue?
Well, messed about for a little bit doing this and that, and it was really my dad. He died of pneumonia, to be fair, but he had a brain tumour.
Right.
But it's like most people, it's not the cancer that kills him; it's the things that are associated with, and that it was pneumonia.
Yes.
But Dad's condition, having a brain tumour, really got me very interested in mental health.
Yes.
And I decided to then retrain.
Okay.
And the area of therapy, psychotherapy is what I've gone into, and communications, which is what I used to lecture in, is very interlinked. A lot of very similar theories in that they'll, for example, Fritz Heider's attribution theory. It's used very much so in communications and also in areas of psychology, to say how people make decisions, etc.
Interesting.
And so a lot of the theories relatively the same. So I got into retrained in psychotherapy, and really that's what I've been doing since that. I now specialise in trauma resolution.
Right. And
that is people who have neurotic disorders.
So could you give me an example of
a trauma
of a particular person presenting and coming to you?
Yeah, so trauma can present itself in many fashions. A very common one is anxiety disorders.
Right.
And so phobias, for example.
Yes.
Or it could be somebody comes and presents with something such as post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
So it doesn't necessarily matter what the trauma is, or what it is that people come to you with, whether they have a fear of sticky labels, or whether they have a fear of snakes, or whether they have sleepless nights, or whether they have flashbacks, or whether they have impotency, or whether they have, whatever it is. Essentially, there is a root cause, and I find predominantly this relates to trauma, either from childhood or from particular incidents that have happened to them.
Right.
And so I specialise in a number of interventions. One of them is an intervention called EMDR, which stands for Eye Movement Desensitization and Reprocessing, which is a very quick physical intervention which allows people to change the way that they feel about thoughts.
Okay.
So essentially, so if you think about a car accident.
Yeah.
People can be traumatized by an actual car accident.
Yes.
What they think about is actually usually a disassociated image. So they'll actually just see themselves having an accident.
Right.
Which can't be actually possible. Because you can't be seeing yourself have an accident when you're involved in it.
Sure.
So it means that actually they've constructed those memories. And so the construction of that memory set and the continual evolution of that memory set that causes the issues with them, basically. And so so EMDR changes the way that they think about, or changes the way the emotional responses to a memory set.
So would that be a process? Would they just come to you once or twice and that be sorted?
It really depends on the person.
It
It's not prescriptive like in that way, although the intervention is very prescriptive. It depends on how what they have, what their issues are. A person may come to you with one thing, saying I'm having impotency problems, for example, and I think the problem is me and my girlfriend, and you realise, when you get to the root cause of it, it's childhood issues,
Right.
and so what they come to you with isn't necessarily what it's about.
Yes.
Sometimes it can be, and it can be very simple, or sometimes it can be very, very complex,
Yes.
and you have to keep digging and keep digging.
So initially you're unearthing stuff by talking to the person?
Yeah, it's a talking therapy.
Okay.
And so you find associated with issues such as trauma are other associated issues such as confidence, lack of confidence,
Yes.
and so it's a much more of a way of dealing with the issue, and then dealing with the associated issues, allowing people to regain their confidence in order to.
This is really important stuff you're doing. It's really a great job to have, I think.
It's demanding because when you deal with people that have been raped, that they come to you, that they've been abused, serially abused since childhood. They have some really, really issues, and it's very.
So do you have somebody who's looking after you? Do you have somebody that you can go to? And
I have to. I have to have clinical supervision. So I do that, where we go and discuss cases, etc., etc. So there's you have to you have to unburden yourself in that way, but also you become very dispassionate about things. In that somebody can be in tears in front of you, and it's not going to help them if I also break down into tears.
No.
And so my while I believe in go back to communications, I believe in this phenomenological existential approach of Carl Rogers. The categorical imperative in terms of building empathy between people. It doesn't do any good for me to break down to them.
No.
So I don't. So I'm quite hard.
Well, that's really good. Really good. A very interesting time. Thank you very much for coming into the show.
It's been my pleasure.
And although I know Al quite well, all these things that I've learnt about you today, didn't know. So thank you very much indeed.
It's my pleasure, David. Thank you.
And that's the end of the show. I'll see you next time.